Tropical storm Jerry has strengthened in the Atlantic and is on a path toward the Caribbean. Meanwhile, Hurricane Priscilla continues churning out in the Pacific off the coast of Mexico. The Dow futures are up 90 points. More details at srnnews.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, everything you need and nothing you.
Your home for Goodland High School athletics. Fort Hays Tech Northwest Tech Tiger basketball, the Denver Broncos, as well as the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer. You're listening to Goodland's Rocket 102.5, KKCI FM, Goodland Colby, and NWKS radio station. It's Truck Month at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Get behind the wheel of a brand new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 with 2.9% APR for 72 months. And if GMC's more your style, you're in luck. Drive home a 25 GMC Sierra Elevation with up to $7,000 in customer cash, or lock in 0.9% APR on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500. Whether it's power, performance, or pure style, Hurl Chevrolet GMC has the truck to match your drive. Visit hurlchev.com or stop by today in Goodland and make this Truck Month one to remember.
Convenience just got an upgrade. Farmers State Bank of Oakley is excited to announce the opening of our brand new ATM along Highway 40, right next to Sonic Drive-In. Whether you're grabbing a snack or on the go, you can quickly access your cash without the detour. It's banking made easy, right where you need it. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
Coming to you with NWKS Radio News, I'm Connor Schuh. Your Colby Community College Trojan volleyball team is hitting the road tonight to play at Cloud City Community College at 6:30 local time. The Trojans are riding high, sitting on a 7-game win streak dating back to mid-September against Odessa College. That was the last time they lost. Colby last played Cloud City September 6th, earning a sweep in one of their first conference matches. And they come back home on the 11th of October this Saturday to face Hutchinson Community College. Again, this Saturday at 2 o'clock local time. So support your Trojans on the road and at home this week. For these stories and more area news, go to nwksradio.net for more.
Today we'll have some patchy morning fog, mainly south of I-70, that will dissipate quickly. And this afternoon, sunshine will return from west to east where it may linger. Highs will run 65 to 75 across the region, and south winds will be a bit breezy at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, skies will be clear with lows around 50. Tomorrow will be sunny or under high pressure, highs 80 to 85. Winds will be lighter around 10 miles per hour and more southwest to northwest direction. Friday, we'll see more clouds and breezier south winds of 15 to 25 miles per hour. It'll be a few degrees warmer in the upper 80s, and lows both nights will be around 50 to 55. On Saturday and Sunday, a low pressure and dry cold front will move through, leading to gusty 25 to 45 mile an hour south winds turning to the north, and a 10-degree temperature swing from 80 to 85 on Saturday to 70 to 75 on Sunday. This meteorologist Chris Schromick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
Do you want to be part of the biggest holiday marketplace in the tri-state area? Sign up today to be a vendor at the NWKS Radio Christmas Marketplace, November 28th, 29th, and 30th. If you have a hometown-based business or like to sew, cook, make jewelry, or craft, this is the perfect place for you. Sign up today at nwksradio.net before the spots are gone. Again, that's nwksradio.net.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The insurance agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
It's Truck Month at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Get behind the wheel of a brand new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 with 2.9% APR for 72 months. And if GMC's more your style, you're in luck. Drive home a 25 GMC Sierra Elevation with up to $7,000 in customer cash or lock in 0.9% APR on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500. Whether it's power, performance, or pure style, Hurl Chevrolet GMC has the truck to match your drive. Visit hurlchev.com or stop by today in Goodland and make this Truck Month one to remember.
Need a porta potty or septic pumping in Northwest Kansas? Call Topside Portables and Pumping, your local family-owned crew. They've got clean, reliable toilets for weddings, farms, and job sites, plus full septic services, RV waste, fertilizer tanks, and more. Available 24/7, because when nature calls, they answer. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. Reliable, local, clean.
You ready? One, two, three, four!
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
The amount of money getting thrown around to quarterbacks who haven't done diddly squat is amazing to me.
And Connor Schuh.
He's the new guy.
The High Plains only local sports talk show. Broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Covering it all from the preps.
He's at the 10, the 5, he dives for the end zone, he's in! Touchdown, Cowboys!
To the pros.
Line drive, left field, base hit! Here comes McMahon, he'll score! Ball game!
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the insurance agency, Pest Away LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakley.
Let's go to work.
He sends one the other way. Well struck ball, deep left field, and gone. Raleigh's first of the playoffs, and it's 8-1 Seattle. They are feeling it.
2-0. He swings, and it's a fly ball to deep center field. Grisham's going back. He's done it again. Vlad Guerrero Jr. has the Blue Jays in front in the first inning. It's a drive down the line. If it's fair, it's his moment. It is. It's tied. George has arrived.
And good Wednesday morning, everybody. We are back here on the Morning Blitz, broadcasting Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and WKSradio.net. So glad you could join us here on this Wednesday, October the 8th. Cloudy and upper 40s in the listening area on our way to a high of 71. I'm Ross Volkmer, back with us after a 2-day hiatus. Connor Schuh, who got rid of the stash.
Yes.
What's going on? You go through different changes more than I know of anybody. You're kind of you're like an amoeba. You just change all the time. You're always shifting.
I know. I like to switch up the look a little bit. Maybe this is a little more professional. I don't know. What do you think?
Yes, this is the more professional look, I would say, out of the two. Yeah, you look very professional this morning.
Thank you.
With the Big Ten quarter zip, which I'm not going to lie, very jealous of. I'd go for one of those.
It's It ran me a lot of money. I'll say that. So
Did you get that at the Big Ten basketball tournament, or it looks like something you'd get there?
yeah, at the women's basketball tournament,
Okay.
we were covering that my junior year, so I got that there.
Sharp looking quarter zip. The official uniform of broadcasters everywhere is the quarter zip.
Absolutely.
Particularly radio broadcasters. But anyway, how you doing? Been a while since we've caught up. You doing well?
Doing great, honestly. Some earlier mornings over the past couple of days, but you know what? We're rolling right here. Just ready to talk some ball again.
Yeah, we are. We'll get to that today. We'll be getting to our college football Power 5 here in just a little bit. We will get Connor's thoughts on a quarterback of his getting traded yesterday. Some tough news for a Kansas football player, but maybe good news for another one coming up in the walk-off. And the best volleyball team in Northwest Kansas, the Oak-Lady Plainsmen, still unbeaten at 27-0. Their head coach joined me yesterday, and we'll play that interview for you. Lindsey Hodges joins the program today, coming up a little bit later on. So we got a full show for you today. As always, the FNB Bank text line is open and operational at 785-899-2222. If you'd like to be part of the program, we would love to hear from you on today's show. Last night, some Major League Baseball. Heard the highlights of that. The Yankees come from behind to beat the Blue Jays, who were up 3-0. But it is the Yankees that win 9-6 to stay alive in this postseason. And the big dumper deposits a ball in left field for number 61. Did you see the guy who caught that ball? The guy who's wearing the dump here shirt?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Dump 61 here, and he got a picture with him after, too.
He did. That's phenomenal. He had a dump 62 shirt. He's ready for the next one as well, which is hilarious. But the Mariners beat the Tigers 8-1. They're a game away from clinching an ALCS spot for the first time in 24 years. 2021 was the last time the Mariners did that. What a great story that is. And it's a full day of baseball today, as a matter of fact. All 4 games are played today, and we could possibly see all 4 series decided today as well. But that we will wait and see about that. One thing I always love to do on this program, because I'm, being a radio guy, I love to hear different calls. And so we heard the call of the Fox broadcast. And so I always love to go digging and see what else I could find. The Aaron Judge 3-run homer that went off the foul pole in left field. I was able to find the WFAN fan call, which is the home radio station for the Yankees. Here it was.
Here's the pitch. High fly ball, deep left field. Down the left field line. It is off the fair pole. Hey now. Hey now. Hey now. 3-run homer, Aaron Judge. This game is tied at 6-6.
Well, Don Sterling is done. Remember Don Sterling, the great voice of the Yankees? He retired. This guy, I forget David something is his name. He has taken over as the radio voice on WF.
Dave Sims.
There you go. Is David Sims? Is that who it is?
Dave Sims. Yeah, he was the old Mariners TV guy.
Anyway, he takes over for the Yankees, and it was great. Hey now. His big thing is the hey now. I think every time they get a run, it's hey now, hey now.
It's so fun. I'm a fan.
So, WFAN with the home call there for the Yankees, who once again will try to avoid. Where do you see these series going today? Where do you see where do you see them kind of heading out? I'll lay the landscape for you real quickly. So Seattle's up 2-1 on Detroit. Milwaukee is up 2-1 on Chicago as they head to Chicago for the first time. Toronto up 2-1 over New York. That's still in New York tonight. And then Philadelphia at Los Angeles. LA is up 2-0.
Well, first with Seattle and Detroit, it pains me to say it, but I think Detroit's going to get the win today. Seattle has Bryce Miller going and also on the road. And he's typically a good pitcher, but he's had a rough year. And Detroit, I think they're due for a good one. I mean, they kind of got punked yesterday, 8-4, even with one of their best pitchers in the bump, Jack Flaherty. And they got Casey Mize, who was an all-star this year, pitching for them today. So I like their chances there. Milwaukee and Chicago. I think Milwaukee's they've just been a juggernaut, beating up on the Cubs.
Line is with Chicago, by the way. Line is with Chicago at this point in time to win at this point in time. So we'll see on that. Milwaukee, Chicago. What about Detroit, New York? You think Yankees even this series at 2 apiece? King Splitter's on the mound. We know what he did the last time.
Facing Toronto, and Toronto is throwing a bullpen game. So I think I'm with you. New York might have this one. they have the momentum going from last night where they came back from down 5 pretty early in that game. And yeah, they got Schlittler up on the bump, and he threw 8 incredible innings against the Red Sox in the wild card round. And I think he's probably going to be riding that high, and seems like he might be an early postseason hero of sorts for the Yankees. So I, again, don't like it, but I think he's going to get it done.
You think the Philly gets a win against the Dodgers, or is that series over?
Philly's going to get a win. I mean, it's going to be tough with Nola going against Yamamoto, because Nola, he's another one of those guys he's had a great career, but this year something was just off. I think he was coming off an injury and a little banged up, so he hasn't really pitched up to the type of guy he usually is. But I think that offense, their backs against the wall, they have enough bats to where they're going to string together some runs and get it done against Yamamoto, who's a great pitcher, but anything can happen. It's the playoffs. That's, I guess,
we will see. We will see. That is all day today. As a matter of fact, starting pretty much early afternoon through the rest of the night is Major League Baseball's postseason. All right, we got to get to the college football Power 5, and so we're going to get to that here in segment number 1. As I always like to say, I like to give a preview of the week, and boy, folks, this week is a grand one. It is a phenomenal weekend in college football. There are tons of games. How you can whittle it down to just 5 or 6 is almost impossible. I tried to do it last night. It's very, very tough, but that's what we do here in the College Football Power 5. We pick our top 5 games we got our eyes on this weekend with an honorable mention game if you have one. So, Connor, I give you the honors. Do you have an honorable mention game this week?
I can't believe I didn't put this on the list. I mean, I think I'm going to do a flip-flop right here. So my honorable mention is a game you might think would be on a top 5 typically, but I'm still excited about it, but not as excited as one might be. Oklahoma at Texas.
Yes, I understand that. It should be higher probably, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Oklahoma and Texas, of course, the matchup is the name value is what's really there. And Oklahoma's the number 9 team in the nation, and Texas now unranked after getting punked by Florida. I mean, they don't have a Power 5 win this year yet. And then Arch Manning is just really struggling. But the storyline there is enough to, I think, get you watching. But I think there's games I'll be watching instead of that one. But it's definitely still really interesting with Oklahoma trying to defend themselves without John Mateer. It'll be an interesting watch to see how that one unfolds.
I mean, it tells you how good of a weekend is if that is the honorable mention game. That's what it says. That's how good this weekend is if that is the honorable mention contest. I've got a ton of honorable mention games, so I'm just going to list them. Iowa at Wisconsin is an honorable mention game, mostly because of the over-under of 35.5. That's the total points, 35.5. They don't score in Iowa, Wisconsin. It's going to be nothing but a defensive slugfest. You know what? I still think 35.5 is too many points. So I think it's going to be under for Iowa, Wisconsin. Arizona State at Utah, 21st ranked Arizona State at Utah. Utah had a stumble against Texas Tech at home, but Arizona State and Utah, I still think, are two of the better teams in the Big 12. It's a fantastic game. Another great Big 12 game this week, Kansas at Texas Tech. My goodness. It's Texas Tech at Kansas. I screwed that up. Nonetheless, that is a great football game. We'll see what Jalen Daniels can do against this well-assembled Texas Tech squad that a lot of people are saying is running away from the rest of the Big 12. I am still waiting to put judgment on that at this point in time. Florida at Texas A&M, another humongous game this weekend. Florida coming off that big win against Texas, and Texas A&M's a top 5 team. Elko's got them going in the right direction. Can Florida trip up another squad? The Gators have the toughest schedule, I think, in all of college football the rest of the way. And the ultimate scrubbing bubbles toilet bowl game of the week, as I like to call it, UMass at Kent State. UMass is 0-5. Kent State is 1-4. The stat of the day, Kent State has not been favored in a football game since 2022.
Let's go Flashes.
They are favored. They are favored against UMass.
I'll be watching.
Two of the worst teams in college football squaring off in the Scrubbing Bubbles Toilet Bowl, UMass and Kent State. There you go. Some honorable mention games. here on the Power 5. All right, let's get to the good stuff.
Number 5.
I guess real quick, I'll just shout out one more.
Ooh, another game.
I had to do some more reshuffling as some things were opened up to me. I almost made another awful omission, but USC at Michigan becomes an honorable mention game for me. Mayava versus Underwood. Fun matchup. USC on the bubble for the top 25. Two good Big Ten teams. Leave it at that. We'll get to number 5. This one, I feel like it might be flying under people's radar because this is not a Power 5 matchup. But this is probably a matchup of, right now, two of the best teams outside of the Power 5 and in the American. Number 24, South Florida at North Texas. Let me explain. So, people know about South Florida and their wins against Boise State and Florida earlier this year. Those were great. They got blown out by Miami. Not so great. But other than that, they have been incredible. Byron Brown is a dog at quarterback. He's so much fun to watch. And that combination between him and Chaz Nimrod, their number one receiver, that is his name. Chaz Nimrod, Tennessee transfer. He's got over 400 yards on 19 catches. Big play guy. Their offense is incredible, and so is North Texas's. I think they're number 5 in points per game, number 8 in the nation in points per game with 44.8 this year. Drew Mestamaker, their quarterback, is balling out, 11 touchdowns, no picks, and leads the nation in passer rating, or at least leads the conference, 158.4, which I think is pretty good. So this is going to be an incredibly high-scoring game, and a battle of the powers of the group of 5, and probably some of the best football you're going to get in one of those matchups.
Sneaky great game there at number 5. 68.5 over and under on the total points. South Florida, 1.5 favorite. That's on Friday night, 5:30, Mountain, 6:30 Central Time. On the Deuce is where you can watch South Florida and North Texas. My number 5, I am headed to the SEC, where you have 8th-ranked Alabama on the road at 14th-ranked Missouri. Missouri? That's all I can think of. Missouri. And still 2.5-point favorites are the Crimson Tide on the road. So this is pretty much a toss-up at a neutral site game, which is hard to believe, but it is true. Look, Alabama has had a trip up early on in the season against Florida State, which Florida State is a good team, but they have taken care of business the rest of the way, including nice back-to-back ranked wins at Georgia and at home against Vanderbilt. This is a very good team that Kalen DeBoer has. Missouri has had a game against KU and a game against South Carolina where they won close. Other than that, they've taken on the worst team in college football, UMass, the Raging Cajuns of Lafayette, and is it Clarksville? I don't even know who this other team is.
Wow.
I have no clue who this team is. It might as well be Roast Beef State for all I care. But they're 5-0. And they've got talent. They've got Bo Pribula, who everybody thinks should be on Penn State now. And if he was at Penn State would be unbeaten. So anyway, and this Missouri defense is very good. It's a very good Missouri defense. So that's the matchup I want to know. Can they slow down Ty Simpson in this great offense for Alabama? Is Missouri for real? Is this Missouri defense for real? Alabama at Missouri is my number 5 game on the college football Power 5. All right, moving on.
Number 4.
Number 4, I have number 10, Georgia at Auburn. Gunnar Stockton is having a great year in his first full season as the starter after he usurped Carson Beck last year after he just stunk it up down the stretch. And him and Georgia have been playing some good ball. I remember a couple weeks ago they had that huge win over Tennessee. That was an incredible game. And Auburn, a little more up and down with Arnold at quarterback and Hugh Freeze. I mean, that's an interesting little situation they got there. They're 3-2. They dropped their last 2 SEC matchups, Texas A&M and Oklahoma, but they only lost by a touchdown in each game. They were in them
13 total points. Yeah,
they were in them the whole way. So who's to say they can't hang with Georgia and maybe steal a win? They have a pretty solid defense, only allowing 16 points per game, and you'll still take that week 1 win over Baylor. I think that was significant. So they're at home. Who knows? Maybe we get an upset.
This game did not make my list, but it definitely could have. That's how good this weekend is. It's very, very good. Georgia-Auburn is a very intriguing game between the Bulldogs and the Tigers, an old rivalry game from back in the old days of the Southeastern Conference. All right, my number 4 game, it's the ultimate helmet game. When you turn on the TV and you think college football, you think of great pageantry, you think of great uniforms, think of great helmets of yesteryear. Well, Michigan at USC, it's the ultimate helmet game. Think about that great Trojan and oh gosh darn, I don't even know what they call the wings. There we go, the wings on the Michigan helmet. I know you hate Michigan, and that's fine. You have your right to do that, but this is what you call a helmet game, and this is a great helmet game. And I talk about a contrast. Styles make fights, and this is the ultimate style fight game. Michigan, their burly offensive line, running it with Justin Haynes between the tackles, 5 yards in a cloud of dust, against the high-flying offense of USC and Jaden Mayaba slinging it around the yard. He leads the Big Ten in passing. They have the best, highest scoring offense in the league, I think maybe behind Oregon. Nonetheless, they're really, really good. Styles make fights. The gritty, tough Michigan Wolverines against the pretty, sexy USC Trojans there in Southern California. What a great game. USC Michigan, my number 4 in the college football Power 5. All right, rolling on to number 3.
Number 3.
You might be surprised I have this one this far down, but your number 1, Ohio State Buckeyes, of course, at the Fighting Illini, number 17 in the nation. And Illinois, I think they're more of the story in this one. They got absolutely annihilated by Indiana, who by all accounts is not quite Ohio State a couple of weeks ago, but they are probably mad as ever that they got stomped on by Indiana, and they want to prove to people that they can hang with a great team like in Ohio State. But they fail to realize Ohio State has one of, if not the best defense in
I think we can argue it is the best defense in college football. I think we can make that point.
God, you can just go down the list of names, and everyone is contributing on that defense, from the young guys to the veterans. I mean, I won't waste your time and start listing off every guy who starts, but they have an incredible defense. It's like they brought some guys up after we had so many people drafted from last year's team and have retooled perfectly under Matt Patricia. He's done an incredible job, and they took care of business the last couple of weeks in some solid Big Ten matchups. But now this is probably, to this point, Ohio State's toughest Big Ten matchup, easily. First Washington, then Minnesota. Now you get a ranked team in Illinois. We got Texas in the first week, but can you do it on the road against Illinois? I certainly believe they can, but this is going to make for some good classic Big Ten football.
Yeah, I've got that game in my top 10 or top 5 as well. No doubt about that. My number 3 game, I'm going to a game that you put in the honorable mention list. I got to put it in the top 5. It's same thing. It's an ultimate helmet game. It's a rivalry game. Oklahoma, Texas at number 3. And there are some very intriguing storylines in this game. Let me tell you how. You mentioned it. John Mateer is still out for Oklahoma, so their Heisman Trophy quarterback still not playing. That opens the door for Texas to knock them off. And maybe Arch Manning, who is just getting absolutely just mauled by media and everybody for how much of a bust he has been. What if Arch goes out there and wins this game and dons the golden hat, the cowboy hat, off the field? All of a sudden, all sins are forgiven for Arch if you win this game. And here's the thing about this game. It doesn't matter who's ranked or who's not, who's been good, who's been bad. All of it goes out the door. It is completely up in the air between Texas and Oklahoma when they step on the field. Oklahoma could be the best team in the country, and Texas finds a way to beat them. It happens almost every single year, and vice versa from that. The other thing I love about this game, in the old Cotton Bowl, it's played, and it's always split right down the middle. Always. Oklahoma fans on one side, Texas fans on the other, and I love to see the ones that are split at the middle who gets into fights because they hate each other. So
that'll be such a cool atmosphere.
Oh, it's awesome. Every year it's amazing. So Oklahoma, Texas, College Football Power 5, my number 3. All right, we're moving into the top 2. Got to push along here.
Number 2.
This is where I have Bama in Mizzou, and we talked about it a little bit earlier. Bo Pribula is doing a great job at Mizzou, and like you said, some people are saying, hey, I wish he would have stayed at Penn State because Drew Aller is but Pribula's getting it done so far. They have a good defense, and they have a pretty nice running back tandem led by Ahmad Hardy. he is a dog, one of the best runners in the SEC coming over from UL Monroe. And Bama, Ty Simpson is really getting it done. I don't think he's thrown a pick yet this year. And their offense is starting to hum along like people thought it would with Ryan Williams at the helm at wide receiver. But already talked about this one a little bit. I'll leave it.
Well done. My number 2 is a game we've already mentioned as well. Ohio State at Illinois is number 2 for me. You said it well. This is a great opportunity for Illinois to try and get a win, to try to knock off the mighty Ohio State. Ohio State, though, as you mentioned, has the best defensive unit in the country. I don't think there's a question about that. They are elite at all areas. And credit to Matt Patricia. You know, sometimes you can bring in a big-time coordinator and it just doesn't mesh well. He has found a way to make it work, and they are elite defensively. And as long as they can keep the opponent at minimal yardage, Julian Sayin doesn't have to be crazy with the football. I don't think Ohio State's offense is honestly that great this year. I don't think it's that good, but they don't have to be that good because defense is amazing. And so that's a great way to win, is when you don't have to put a lot of pressure on a young quarterback. So yeah, I wide receiver wise, they've got some great talent. I will give you that, but not great running backs. And we don't know much about Sayin because he really hasn't been forced to be put in some tight games. So besides Texas.
Yeah,
but that was game 1. I mean, that's a long time ago now.
And he played well.
Illinois, I'm interested to see if Illinois can get any sort of offense going against Ohio State because they're going to have to score some points to win this game. So that game intrigues me. All right, I think I know where we're going with number 1. I have a good feeling on this, but
number 1.
Where are you sitting?
This isn't a classic Big Ten matchup.
No, it's not.
Number 7, Indiana at number 3, Oregon. This is such a fun game. I mean, Fernando Mendoza and what he's done this year with Indiana, he's played himself into being talked about like a top 5 draft pick.
Heisman contender.
Yeah, Heisman contender. And then you got another one on the other side, Dante Moore. And we know how explosive that Oregon offense can be. And they've been good enough this year to hold above water against whoever they've played. But I think we're waiting for them to really explode against a good opponent. And here's their opportunity. But Indiana obviously proves tough. I mean, they brought back a lot of pieces offensively and defensively. They have almost the same receiving core as last year. And their defensive leaders like Aiden Fisher and D'Angelo Pons, same as last year. And then with an upgrade at quarterback with Mendoza. Rourke was great last year, but Mendoza is even better. And then Dante Moore and Oregon are going to try and get it done and try to steamroll their way back to the CFP and avenge what happened last year.
I saw an interesting stat is that Indiana underneath Kurt Cignetti, who's been fantastic, as we know, he's made it to the college football playoff and has the team on the path to go there, a top 10 team, and he's done it in just not even 2 years. It's been unbelievable what Sigs has done at Indiana. But you know that Indiana has only played 6 road games so far in the Cignetti era? 6.
That's incredible.
That's all they've played. They never go on the road. Well, that ends this weekend. They go to Eugene, where that place can get a little rowdy. It can get a little crazy. And they've just got an abundance of talent at Oregon. They've got the best facilities, and they recruit to them very, very well. Their best wide receiver and their best running back, Moore and Hill, respectively, are both true freshmen that make humongous plays, along with Moore, the quarterback, like you mentioned, 14 touchdowns to 1 pick. Mendoza, 16 touchdowns to 1 pick, the quarterback for Indiana, who played at Cal prior, so he's been here before. And like you mentioned, Indiana's got such great talent that Cignetti brought with him from James Madison. Elijah Surratt is a phenomenal wide receiver, 31 receptions, 6 touchdowns at this point in time of the season. This is game is so intriguing. It's like kind of the current blue blood of college football, Oregon, against the upstart team that is trying to become one of the most intriguing storylines in college football history. From absolutely nothingness to becoming a power over the course of 2 years is nuts. So this game is no doubt the best, in my opinion. 5-0 Oregon hosting 5-0 Indiana in a matchup of top 10 teams. Right now, the line, 7.5 in favor of the Quackers of Oregon.
7.5.
Big spread. I just am curious. I cannot buy it. Something is just not stacking up in my gut about Indiana, and it hasn't for the whole time that Cignetti's been there. Why is he so good? And I think that stat about being home all the time really helps out.
I think that's the one.
Indiana has got a lot of tough games on their docket this year. They have to go to Oregon. They have to go to Penn State. They've got some tough games to play this season, and we're going to find out how really good Sigs is. Google him, Kurt Signetti. There you go. The College Football Power 5 here on this Wednesday. Okay, we got to get to a break. We come back. Really excited to play the interview with you I had with head coach of the Oakley Lady volleyball team, Oakley Lady Plainsman volleyball team, Lindsay Hodges. She'll join the show next. You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
Your business was built right here, so is ours. At FNB Bank, we are not run from some distant city. We are run by neighbors. It matters to us too. From local decisions to face-to-face service, we are here. Bank local, grow local, stay local. FNB Bank, member FDIC.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, this is Tom Saludo with the Anderson Trade Group with your overnight market report on October the 8th. In the overnight session, D's corn was unchanged at 420, March corn was unchanged at 436, and May corn was unchanged at 445. November soybeans was up 3 at 1025, Jan up 1 at 1040.5, and March up 1 at 1054. Kansas City hard red winter wheat December was unchanged at 491, March down 1 at 512, and May unchanged at 527 and a quarter. The Dow Jones is currently up 129 points at 46,981. S&P is up 10 points at 6,771. NASDAQ is at 25 points at 25,065. Gold is up 56 points at 4,060 an ounce. And crude oil is slightly up at 62.61 a barrel. If you're out in the Colorado area and have any grain to market or risk management questions, please call John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484. Or you can call myself, Tom Saludo, Jared Law, or Tyler Ghosh at 913-748-3000. Thank you.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
What's on your to-do list? Check your mail? Get groceries? How about getting your annual vaccines? We can help you check that off.
You've got this.
Yes, you do. Because we've got you with local vaccine events and access to transportation. Protecting yourself and your loved ones is not a chore anymore.
You've got this.
A message from the Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by U.S. Aging. Funded by the U.S. Administration for Community Living through a grant to U.S. Aging. Learn more at yougotthis.usaging.org.
When you're an expert on soil and crops, you're a soil scientist. When you're an expert on the weather, you're a meteorologist. And when you're an expert on soybeans, you are an Asgrow farmer. Like you, Asgrow brand is relentlessly focused on soybeans with localized products featuring leading genetics and weed management systems. It all works together to give you maximum profit potential. Visit Asgrow.com. It's all about the beans. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices. For some farmers, soybeans are on their mind 24/7. If you're all about the beans, then Asgrow brand is all about you. That's why we've dedicated ourselves to developing truly localized products. Products with leading genetics and top-tier weed management. Products that maximize the profit potential on every acre you've got. If you're serious about soybeans, and we're serious about your success. Visit Asgrow.com. It's all about the beans. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
Breaking down the plays, the players, and the passion.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
This is the Morning Blitz.
"20 minutes to the top of the hour here on a Wednesday. Once again, overcast and cool start. Temperatures in the upper 40s, low 50s. We will be making our way up to the low 70s today. And once again, that will continue to get warmer and warmer as we continue on. Speaking of heat, there is not a hotter team in Western Kansas. I don't even think both boys and girls, it doesn't matter if it's football, volleyball, there's not really a hotter team. There might be in cross country. Quinter boys cross country could give them a run for their money. But there's not a hotter team in all of Western Kansas, I think, than the Oakley Lady Plainsmen, who are a perfect 27-0. And I reached out to Coach Hodges a couple weeks ago, and she finally got back to me here this week. She's been very busy, and so understandably so. But she was able to take some time and visit with me yesterday about the great season the Oakley Lady Plainsmen are having here in the 2025 volleyball season. Lindsay, thank you so much for making some time with us today.
Thanks for having me today.
You're a person I've wanted to have on the show for a couple weeks now. We finally were able to get in contact because your Oakley Lady Plainsmen volleyball is having a fantastic season so far this year, Coach. And I got to start out, this is your second year, and last year you led the Lady Plainsmen to a really impressive, I think it was 28 wins or 25 plus win season, a really good season for them. And prior to that, Lady Plainsmen volleyball had struggled a little bit. I know it's only year 2 for you, but what have you seen? How have you seen this volleyball program progress over your first 2 years of being there leading them?
I think the biggest thing that I've seen is kids that are willing to put in time outside of school. I have a bunch of kids that played over the summer, and that always helps your season when they're playing outside of school and just advancing their game and improving on those skills. Another thing that I really, really focus on as a coach is just positivity. Working with those girls to have the mindset of positive and not negative. We're all going to make mistakes. And how do we learn and grow from those mistakes? But not only individually, but as a team. I always encourage for them to be positive on the court, encourage each other, even when mistakes happen.
Lindsay Hodges is our guest here. Oakley High School head volleyball coach. Once again, the Lady Plainsmen unbeaten at this point in time in their volleyball season. It also helps, of course, to have some great young talent. And you guys have had a really, for after a couple of years of struggling prior to your time leading the program there at Oakley, you guys have had some young players come up, some young freshmen, some young sophomores that are starting to develop. And you got to like that you have a good young core at the precipice of this volleyball team.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always nice to have young kids come in that under. And I had about 20 of them participate, which is incredible. I have 7 girls that played club volleyball. All my varsity players, every one of them played club ball.
Ball and the time commitment and the effort it takes to do that over the course of a summer?
It is a big commitment for sure. Our girl, so we have kind of 2 different programs. I have girls that went and played in Hayes. And I honestly am not as involved with that program, so I'm not sure what their practice schedule was. But I have 6 girls that went to Goodland, and they were and worked with a guy named Josh Ivins, and he runs a program called Sunshine Academy. And they went and they practiced every Sunday. And then he took them to 4 different tournaments out in Denver, Colorado. And he just really works on skills and building those foundational skills to better their game.
Once again, we are visiting with Oakley High School head volleyball coach Lindsay Hodges. The Lady Plainsmen unbeaten here in the 2025 volleyball season. You have a very special sophomore player in Alexa Weiser. Can you tell me more about this young lady and what makes her so good?
Alexa is a phenomenal athlete. She is a three sport strong athlete. She is a very good team player. She encourages others. She brings a lot of energy to the floor. And her volleyball knowledge is very high level. She is a setter, but also she is a incredibly strong hitter. And so she just brings a depth to our team that allows us to be strong, whether she's in the back row because she's setting or if she's in the front row because she's hitting.
When you look at this season, this point in time, like we said before, unbeaten 27-0 at this point in time, and you look at the teams that you have beaten to this point, how challenging has this slate been to get through it to this point in time and to remain unbeaten? That's just got to be a real feather in the cap to your girls.
Yeah, it's been a challenge. I will tell you, we have my original starting 6. We have 3 of them that have gone down with injuries. We lost our starting middle right after our Jamboree game. And then our first tournament was in Syracuse, and our first game out, we lost our starter senior, Jade Beckman. She was our outside hitter. She blew her ACL. And then when we went to Trigo, we actually lost Alexa. She rolled her ankle pretty badly, and she was out for 4 of our games. And these girls have shown nothing but resiliency. They just keep showing up, putting in the work, working hard for each other. But I've had kids that have had to step up in ways that they probably did not see at the beginning of the year, playing positions that maybe they didn't expect to play in. So it's not been a what would you say, a walk in the park for these kids. I just admire their hard work and dedication to each other. And it's been important along the way. I mean, for them to continue to win. And, we don't even talk about being undefeated. It's just about competing and going out there and giving your best every game, and whatever happens, happens.
How impressed are you as a coach to know that you've lost some very key pieces and some very good athletes this season to injury, whether it be long-term or short-term, and yet the next girl has just stepped up into that role and it really hasn't been much of a drop-off?
It's incredible. It makes me feel really good. I always, it's a challenging job, right? But when these kids keep doing it, I want to say week after week, because every time I turn around, I feel like I got a new kid on crutches. Last week, we lost our freshman, Brecken Solinsky, and she is now on crutches with a boot. And it's just, I'm just so darn proud of these kids because they just continue to step up and fill in those positions.
Oakley High School volleyball coach Lindsay Hodges, our guest here on the Hoover Lumbrace Hardware Hotline. Another thing that makes me chuckle is you guys are having a great season, at 27-0. But I tell you, in your own regional, there's a lot of teams having some great seasons. Medicine Lodge is 29-2, and Ellenwood is 27-0. I mean, you'd think 27-0 you'd be the top seed, but you still are in the mix for one of the top 3 spots. It's amazing how good and competitive 2A volleyball has been on this side.
Absolutely. And then for us to all get put in the same regional, somebody's going to make it to state that maybe didn't think that they would because you got 3 teams that are in the top 5 are going to be all competing against each other before you ever even get there.
Oh, it's absolutely nuts. That's for sure. What are you hoping to see out of your girls here as you come down the stretch of this season and get ready for postseason play?
Just continuing to play for each other, play because they love the game of volleyball. And I obviously I hope that they find success, and the goal is to get back to state. When we started the season, it was, we want to win one game. Last year we made it, but we didn't win a game. And so the goal was to make it back, and win a game in that pool play. And I just hope that they remember how we got here, by encouraging each other, being good teammates, and working together as a team, that we didn't get here having one solid player on the floor. They got here because they played together as a team.
I'll finish it up on this. You're an elementary teacher as well as the high school volleyball coach. So I have to ask, what is more challenging? Is it dealing with the elementary kids on a daily basis, or the high school kids and all their stuff on a daily basis?
Oh, man. I don't know that that's a fair question, to be honest, because they both bring completely different challenges. I do teach second grade, so I have 7 and 8-year-olds. And then, I go coach high school, and I have, 15 to 18-year-olds. On any given day, maybe my elementary kids were easier than my high school girls. And then some days, it's kind of a breath of fresh air to go over there and have that somewhat adult interaction, with those kids. And if my elementary days were a little struggle, then that's kind of a breath of fresh air.
Well, no doubt about it. You get it from both ends of the spectrum, the broad ends of the spectrum. That is for sure when you're talking about education. She is the head volleyball coach of the Oakland Lady Plainsmen, Lindsay Hodges. Lindsay, thank you so much for sparing some time from your very, very busy schedule to talk with us today. Really appreciate it. Best luck to you and the Lady Plainsmen as you continue on here in this 2025 season.
Thank you very much.
Once again, great stuff there from Lindsay Hodges as she joined me yesterday. And what a great story. Can you believe the thing that I didn't know was that they're 27-0 and they've dealt with a plethora of injuries, including season-ending ones, which is absolutely nuts to me. So to have this unbeaten record and to continue to do it with all these injuries, with whether it was in the Jamboree or early on in camp or now here as they get in the thick of the season and still remain unbeaten, is just an amazing story. So shout out to her and her girls on the depth that they have shown this year as the Lady Plainsmen remain unbeaten. And think about this, unbeaten yet still not the top seed in their own regional.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's rough. So rough, but wish them the best of luck. And she was a great conversation. If you missed either of that, make sure you go back and listen to the podcast. All right, we're going to take our final break, come back and wrap up the show with some thoughts on something that Connor knows a lot about next here on the Morning Blitz.
As we celebrate 4-H's 123-year history, what makes it so influential? My name is James Marquardt, and after a decade of being involved in 4-H, I believe that the people are the reason why 4-H is so beneficial. Whether it be the local extension agent, the community members, or the project leaders, it is the people that make 4-H worthwhile. So if you see someone who is a 4-H volunteer this week, thank them for the time that they have invested into this great organization.
We need reliability with a personal touch. Call Miller Construction Services, LLC. With over 40 years of hands-on experience, this family-owned and operated company is your trusted construction leader across Northwest Kansas, Northeast Colorado, and Southwest Nebraska. Licensed, bonded, and proud to be a Chief Buildings Independent Authorized Builder, Miller Construction builds durable storage facilities, warehouses, municipal projects, and more. Be sure and visit millercs.com. That's millercs.com, and let's build your future together with Miller's Construction Service, LLC.
This fall, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware has everything you could need. Keep your lawn strong with Ultimate Winterizer, the best defense before the frost. Warm up your evenings and create memories with a new fire pit. Or bring home the flavor with a great selection of grills and smokers from brands like Traeger, Blackstone, Green Egg, and more. And right now, the lumber prices are low, and so are the temperatures, making it the best season to tackle those outdoor projects. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby. Open every day but Sunday.
Bigger and better, and it's back this Saturday, the annual Girls' Day out in Oakley, located in the entire Western Vista complex, both sides there. The Logan County 4-H building is full of vendors, outside vendors. In fact, 23,000 square foot of vendors, over 100 of them. Free admission this Saturday. The duck hunt is back. Concessions available. There'll be food trucks. The Tri-County Amusement Train will shuttle shoppers building to building. It's this Saturday, and it's free, 10 to 3 o'clock at the Western Vista complex and Logan County 4-H building in Oakley.
From the headlines to the highlights.
It's good! The Wildcats are champions of the Big 12!
This is the Morning Blitz.
All right, just a couple minutes left to go in the show. Talk about a newsy day in the NFL yesterday. There were fines handed out. Jonathan Gannon gets a $100,000 fine for berating one of his players on the sideline. You've got Jerry Jones getting $250,000 taken out of his deep pockets for giving the finger.
Good.
Great, Jerry. And then some trades. There was a trade between the Harbaugh brothers. Chargers traded for a defensive end and Joe Flacco. What was that? Yeah. What was his name?
Odafe Owe.
Oh, there you go. And so, and then the Falcons. It's Falco. Flacco. I can't even say it. The Bengals traded for Joe Flacco. There we go. Not what am I thinking? Yeah, for Joe Flacco. What's the
Shane Falco?
Shane Falco is who I was thinking of there for a second. That would have been great though, wouldn't it? Shane Falco.
That'd be fun.
Do you remember him playing for Ohio State?
Yeah, not in real life.
You remember that Sugar Bowl loss?
Oh yeah.
But Joe Flacco leaving the Browns because they're currently going to go with the younger two guys of Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, which, okay, I tell you the truth, I think the Bengals had to do this. I am telling you, the play of Browning has been so bad. They had to do something in the quarterback spot.
Yeah, didn't really seem like he was the answer, at least for the backup spot. But I don't think Flacco was necessarily the answer either. If you watched any Browns games this year, he looked pretty bad. I mean, he's 40 at this point. And he was great 2 years ago for the Browns, but you turn around, you add a couple of years to him, and now it's just, I think it's done, and it's probably time for him to be a 100% backup, and you're mentoring some younger guys like he was about to do on the Browns, or retire. He is not the solution for the Bengals' problems. I think there's probably better backups they could have traded for.
Maybe so, but we know the Bengals aren't going to invest a lot of money, so they're going to find the cheapest option that they can find. And it's something I don't even know. I remember watching Jake Browning play last week against the Lions and the interceptions he throws. I mean, he played better when he wasn't getting first team reps in practice. Just start the backup in the practice and then throw.
Plays better with no pressure.
He does. He plays with better with no pressure. That is for sure. But
because he played better when they were down at the end. So
he did. He turns around and gets 3 touchdowns. So yeah, he's got some stuff he's got to get figured out. That is for sure. But anyway, Joe Flacco to the Bengals. Big news yesterday in the NFL.
And back lifts his ball deep to right. How about a walk-off Brady? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
So news this weekend really coming out about KU football and their top tight end, Sean Hanukkah. He is out. He talked about a rough go for Hanukkah. You know, he blew out his knee this year. He had a ruptured Achilles last year. He has not been able to stay on the field as the Topeka, Kansas native, and it's a tough break for him. He is out for the season, their top tight end there for Kansas. But and even though that's a sad story, it could be a good news story for our very own friend of the program, Leighton Cure. Could he get some more reps possibly at the tight end spot? One would think so, although he is still number 3 on the Kansas depth chart. But he's an injury away from being in the top 2, and Kansas loves to run a lot of 2 tight end sets. So I'm excited to see if old Leighton Cure gets a chance.
He'll be out there.
I hope he'll be out there. He's been out there as a blocking back. I want to see him in the pass catching scenarios. A little bit more opportunity in the pass catching, but we'll see about that. Local sports today. Actually, I forgot to mention some local sports yesterday. Colby volleyball with a couple of wins last night on their home court to get to 9-17. Goodland with 3 victories last night up in Hitchcock County, Nebraska. They're now 22-5. Golden Plains 2-0 at the Northern Tri. A very interesting quadrangular with Wallace County, Greeley County, Dighton, and Quinter. Very interesting one there. Quinter boys, they flexed again. They won the Northwest Kansas League. 6 guys placed in the top 7 spots for Quinter boys cross country. That is domination for sure. St. Francis winning on the girls' side, winning the Northwest Kansas League title. And like you heard on the news, Colby Community College volleyball in action at Cloud County tonight is where the Lady Trojans are being. We visited with Coach Jones yesterday on the program as they are looking to remain perfect in Jayhawk Conference play. Connor's ready for his first day of holiday greetings. He can't wait to get going. So
ready to make some sales.
Gotta jump into the sales world today.
Come on.
Everyone have yourself a great Wednesday. We're back again tomorrow in 23 hours. Hope you join us then. It's been the Blitz.